We're out here wandering around at the excess stuff at Pioneer Village. More stuff getting ready for the next online auction, old farm equipment. Some of the stuff I don't even know what it is. Never even seen some of this stuff. Some of this stuff is so old, a lot of people have even forgotten about what it was for. But that's what's amazing about Pioneer Village. The artifacts are still here. The information is still here. The knowledge is still here. You can come and learn about it. And so much of this cool stuff that just has disappeared from our country is still here on display. This is extra stuff that they're going to be selling off. So let's go check out some more of it. Now, anybody ever heard of snow fence? Like when you see that big bright orange plastic fence they like stretch out to like keep, you know, snow from blowing, things like that. Or I remember using it like to mark off ball fields for little league, things like that. That didn't always used to be plastic. That used to be literally little strips of wood called lath that were wired together to make these big long fences. They would be big rolls and you rolled them out and stood them up and you had this kind of instant fence. When you talk about Pioneer Village and literally having a little bit of everything, that's what we're going to look at right now. This machine made that snow fence. It came in rolls like this. You see it was these little strips of wood that were wired together, and it came in a big roll. You could literally roll that out, stand it up, have an instant fence. How do they make big rolls of this with little strips of wood? All these little twists, all these little ties, and all this wire to put it together. That's what this beast of a machine did. And I call it a beast, and it is a beast. We're going to walk around this thing real quick because I've never seen one, and I'm sure you probably never have either. But we can see this thing actually would feed through here. We see all these gears, all these mechanisms. We see how the wire came off these rollers. Look at all these levers, all the mechanism, chains, sprockets. This thing is almost a work of art, basically. This is a work of industrial art. And you think about this thing in motion, rolling through here, these wooden strips coming through, all these twists being made with these. Look at these, those had to twist. They ran on gears to twist them and twist those wires to tie those little laths in. Look at these gears here that carried the little pieces of wood. This thing is absolutely amazing. It is literally an industrial work of art. I don't think it would, I think it would probably pass 0 OSHA regulations in today's world, but it did the job. And it did it all with gears and levers and mechanisms like that. So pretty cool piece. Let's go check out some more neat stuff. Checking out some more cool vehicles. These are going to be available on the next online auction is what they're thinking. 37 Ford pickup. Banged up a little bit in the front, but there again, this thing's been in here for decades. So I almost bet this thing is really solid if you start looking around the edges, because this pickup has been here for a really long time. It's got a little bit of rust down there in the rockers, I guess. So it was definitely used for a while, but bed and everything's all still here on it as well. Inside's intact. Cool old Plymouth, late 20s era Plymouth. Of course, we got to check out the badge. We always love these enamel radiator badges. Little two-door sedan car. And looks like one more in this building, a really cool 46 Ford. Here from the front looks like a 46 Ford. We come around the back, this thing's actually a Woody. It's pretty dark in here. I don't know how you're going to be able to see it, but this is actually a 46 Ford Woody that has been in here for decades and decades in dry storage. Partially disassembled back here, but it looks like most of those pieces are in there. Tailgate is still here. Here again, not something you see every day, but that's what's amazing about this place, is it is stuff you don't see every day. So let's go check out a few more things. And we're back in yet another building. And like I said, I don't know what's in these till I just walked in, including this old equipment here. I assume this is like old pressing equipment, dry cleaning, pressing type equipment. I don't know. But it is super cool. It is definitely heavy duty industrial. Look at the pedals on this thing. Have some names on it. I can't even really make it out on that part of it. Here's a tag down here. What's this say? The Hoffman, United States Hoffman Machinery Company. This one over here says Valeteria. Got a cool brass tag on that one. And look at this. This has a dress on it, and it has a squirrel cage fan on it. So this, I'm assuming, was some sort of a dry cleaning type thing. I really don't know. If this is part of one of them too, we can see, yeah, like steam cleaning, I think, because we have like a boiler and stuff in there. Maybe it was steam, I don't know. Not really sure. There again, you literally never know what you're gonna see when you walk into one of these buildings. There's stuff stacked in here all over. Like I said, they've been doing a lot of cleaning, a lot of sorting. This thing looks pretty cool. Oh wow, look at this. Look at all these. This appears to be like an entire carousel, I'm guessing. Look, we've got all these horses and they're lined up all the way back to the wall. We see the hooves sticking out. Oh yeah, because look, here's the bottom of it. Here's all the bottom panels for the carousel. Here's all the horses. Here would be the arms and the apparatus. Oh, check this gear out. Look at the gear on this thing. Holy cow, this thing's amazing. Oh, and there's like the little chairs. Like on the carousel where they had the chairs for the people that didn't want to ride the horses, there's the sides of the chairs and probably the bases of the chairs. I wonder how old this thing is. Wow, this is pretty super cool. It's kind of hard to really take it all in the way it's just literally lined up here against the wall. But obviously it's old. Holy cow, we can literally look just all these horses. They're just lined up in here. We can see where they had the apparatus in the bottom of them to hold them up. Wow, that's amazing. I don't know what, I'm gonna guess maybe like 30s or 40s era. We can tell, these metal edges are kind of rough, and obviously it's been used, but that's pretty cool. And it looks like the whole thing is here. I don't know if we can see it or not. Look at the scroll work back there on those pieces back there. And then I guess this is probably part of the apparatus. We got the big gear up there. Oh, and then check this out. It literally looks like a third member, like out of a truck. It had a control lever here, belts here. Wow, what an amazing piece. And holy cow, that's pretty cool. And I bet even some of this is part of it. So that's a pretty amazing piece. Like I said, we don't know what we're walking into in any of these buildings. They're kind enough to let us look around, check it out, and it's been really amazing as we've been doing that. So that's pretty cool to see all that lined up in here just like that. So let's go check out what else is out here. And once again, we're wandering through another building. Just walked in the door, don't know even what we're gonna see. First thing we saw though was a super cool little Zenith box. Parts, tubes, and accessories. I bet that, you know what I bet that's for? When they used to fix TVs. I bet that was like a TV repairman box. That's kind of crazy to think about. In today's throwaway world, that's probably what the TV repairman carried. Old booths, probably out of the old Pioneer Village restaurant. More old chairs, picnic tables, probably stuff out of the museum that they used to probably actually used on the property. Old Ringer washing machine. Not a lot in this building, lots of lumber, lots of extra stuff. That's quite a light. It shoots in every different direction, all at one shot. Talk about you never know. Extra lumber, probably a lot of things that they used over the years on repairs and things like that were stored out here. I would assume that's probably why these racks of lumber were in these buildings, because this property, it's a big, big facility, and over the years it needed a lot of maintenance. So I bet a lot of this stuff got put out here, stored out here, so they had it when they needed it. But like I said, pretty amazing stuff, pretty neat stuff, and super excited that Larry let us wander around, check it out, and share some of it with you. Well, here we are walking into the last surplus building at Pioneer Village. So don't know what's in here. We're going to go find out. We've seen some super cool stuff. Like I said, some of this is going to be available on an online auction in the near future. They did have an online auction here a while back. That's why we're up here. Got my super cool signs. Be sure to check out the clip on those. Let's go see what's in here. Lots and lots of extra. And that's what they told us. A lot of these buildings were literally just stacked, stuffed with anything, everything, whatever, wherever it needed to be stored, that's where they put it. Something like this that you don't see every day, a phone booth. Obviously, completely a thing of the past. Most people today wouldn't even know what that was for, but they've got one in here. Check this thing out, like an old part of an old phonograph or something. I don't know, it's got the big phonograph type looking speaker on it. Not sure what that thing was, but obviously it had something to do with, was it a radio, was it a phonograph? It says Majestic on it. Pretty neat piece. Oh wow, check this stuff out. Printing blocks. This is all printing blocks from when they actually had to manually print, manually make these blocks for ads. Look at the detail on that one for a storm door. They would lay these out, and that's literally how things were printed years and years ago. All these old blocks had to be handmade. Sunbeam. Wow. And there's tons of them. You see these old trays, this is what these were for printer blocks. They could put them all in here so they knew where to find their stuff when they were printing. Look at these letters. All these letters lined up in here so they could pluck them out to spell what they needed to spell. You needed bigger letters, we had bigger letters here. Trays and trays and trays of these. That's literally how newspapers, magazines, how they were printed years and years ago. Kind of crazy to think about. You had to manually go through all those drawers, lay that stuff out, or create one for a new advertiser when they wanted something printed. Wow. This looks like maybe an old switchboard, like for the phone company maybe? I'm not sure, but it looks like an old switchboard where they literally had to manually plug stuff in to connect you. And I'm guessing so because here's a bunch of old telephones. Who remembers these? You actually had to pick up a receiver. You actually had to dial something. Yeah, that's how it used to work. But that's the great thing about Pioneer Village. It has saved all that history. It has preserved all that history. It tells those stories. Wow. A little overwhelming in these buildings. Just stuff everywhere. Old cooler. Oh, look, check out the old soda fountain. All stainless steel, all decorated up. Man, that's cool. All these different curves and angles. Even the utilitarian stuff was pretty. Back, looks like maybe an old cream separator. I don't even know what some of all this equipment is. But it's all part of the history of man's progress. Old barber chair. It's stacked deep in here. We can't even hardly see all the way back there, but we'll kind of try to peek over old chairs and things like that back in there. Another old phone booth. Wow, amazing. Even a bumper laying there on the floor. So there's some of the surplus stuff from Pioneer Village. Like I said, some of this stuff is going to be available on an online auction in the near future. We don't know exactly when. They're obviously still got a lot of sorting, a lot of work to do. They did have one online auction. That's why we're up here. We picked up our Pioneer Village signs that we bought. But super, super appreciative of Larry to let us explore, let us look around a little bit. We got some cool stuff coming from the museum itself as well. But that's the purpose of Pioneer Village, history of man's progress. Just what we've seen in the overflow. We've seen everything from horse-drawn equipment all the way up to a soda fountain to telephone booths and everything in between. And that's why this museum is so amazing. I love it. You can't go wrong by coming to Minden, Nebraska and checking it out. So we're going to go check out the museum. I hope you enjoyed these overflow videos. Stay tuned. Some of the stuff will be available on an online auction in the near future, probably next year in 2023 sometime. But super excited that Larry allowed us to do this. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We got more cool stuff coming. We'll see you soon.